Open. My name is Richard Sims, and this beautiful man next to me is Mr. David Walsh, and we're going to be bringing you all the action here from Team ENVYUS versus VEXED GG. Dave, back at MLG. How you feeling, brother?
Feeling great, man. It's always so good to see all these old co-workers and people I used to see from MLG. So, I mean, that's a lot of my history. If you think about it, I'm not only, but I'm 33 years old. I'm an old man at this point. However, if you think about it, MLG has been a part of my life since 2003. So that's a big period of my life. Almost half my life I've been attending MLG events.
That speaks volumes about the Halo franchise, right? It's played such a huge part of, everybody's lives, and I think the whole gaming industry as a whole. It's one of the most legendary FPSs, and honestly, it's just such a pleasure to be here live in Orlando, bringing you this action. Of course, we are on the road to Worlds. It's going to be Seattle. $1 million on the line. This is the first stop of many. But you know what, guys? Enough about all the talking. Let's get stuck into the action. Make sure you tweet this stream. Use the hashtag HaloWC. Halo's back with MLG, baby, and we're in for a good run. Kicking things off with Pistola, because of the caster, Dave. Unfortunately, he's going to be the first death of the game.
Yeah, rough start for Ola, but we got Trippy here with the camo. Looks like he is doing some evasive maneuvers, but eventually trades out that one.
So, Europe versus NA. Once again, we come to these little standoffs that we do keep seeing. VEXED are a very, very strong team. Individually, they've been going toe-to-toe. We did see them topping the 2Ks against ENVYUS. Big Daddy Riot's back in the driving seat once again. Riot's Max Cottle playing at the top of his game here in Halo 5. However, they have to get past the boys in blue. This is a nasty, nasty team. Cyan with the railgun. 2 get dropped. 1, 2, 3 members of VEXED. They are dead, and now they can push the advantage. They're going to capture Nest here, turn face, pre-grenade the Whitehall, and hope that someone walks through and gets a beautiful grenade under the legs.
Yeah, you just notice how methodically he's moving across the map. Just goes straight into Whitehall, knows exactly where to be watching his teammates' backs. So much trust there in the ENVYUS roster, because in many other situations, if I'm that close over towards Snipe Hall, I'm going to be watching my back. But you notice how Sane was the one watching the back over at Snipe side, and that's what was the whole catalyst for this whole push to be successful.
You know Pistola very well. Obviously, you've been playing against him, with him, everything for many, many years, Dave. Obviously, he's been now given an opportunity to build this ENVYUS roster after what happened with the previous iteration of ENVYUS splitting up and kind of going different ways. What do you think this is going to be like for Pistola's mentality, being able to kind of cherry-pick his players who are on the free agents list, so to speak, and build a roster around him?
Yeah, I mean, it's good and bad, because on one hand, you go with a roster where you have someone like Snipe Down on there, and you don't really have to tell him much. Snipe Down knows at this point where he should be on the map. He's a great leader. He's a great teammate to have. Whereas some of these other players, they're going to have to get on the exact same page. I mean, the likes of Boo Boo Doo and Trippy, and even someone like Stan, there's a lot of great individual talent there, but I wouldn't consider them a whole cohesive unit yet. That's what's going to show throughout these matches, though. We're going to see if they know how to play together very well, and based on how calm Stan is playing right now, it doesn't seem like he's kind of panicking, not knowing where to be, and what great shots there. One thing I want to highlight there from Stan, though, even though he got taken out, he wasn't going for some desperate grenade. He wasn't just panicking, trying to go an all-or-nothing thing. He puts little shots into that opponent and has trust that his teammates will clean it up.
Cyan's a solid, solid player, and I'm still keeping him as one of my players to watch throughout this whole World Championship rather than just this event. But, Cyan and Trippy, they've been playing with each other for a while now, coming off the back of Luminosity. But, yeah, when you speak about Pistola, building a team, then again, there is only limited picks. You've only got to say who's there and not actually on a roster.
Dude, I mean, if you're talking about Boo Boo Doo Boo and saying as limited picks, I'll take limited picks any day, man. Boo Boo is so sick of this game when we watched some of his play before.
Boo Boo, take my Doo Boo. Well, let's get stuck into this game. His POV now. Thank you very much, Wonder Bobbins in the back, the beautiful man controlling the POVs and doing all this dirty work to bring you guys some amazing POVs in action. Looking around now, checking out Engine. No one's still there. They will drop down. BR base will probably roll into the hands quite happily of Team ENVYUS here. VEXED now going to lose it. That's going to be full control here for ENVYUS. They can just push on into basement and try and reclaim this one. But Nest also, he's getting taken back, Dave.
Yeah, that was actually interesting flank from Boo Boo. So he left Nest, he took the low ground, went towards BR base. Now, one thing you think about that is all right, well, he's giving up the high ground, but he was outnumbered there in that situation. But he had options. Boo Boo at any point could have went up towards Whitehall and got a flank on Nest if his team had numbers. However, he realized his team was down in numbers, so he just went over towards BR base and traded those bases. He didn't give up his life, and that was a great maneuver from Boo Boo Doo Boo.
Quad trying to stay alive. He did see 2 of his teammates drop there, but unfortunately it wasn't good enough. Lonnie here down in white. excuse me, long haul, not wide haul. Grenade comes through. He has to push back onto back rail. 2 and 2, though, working in tandem. Snipe drone to his left. He's got Max to his right as well. That's going to be Big Daddy Riots checking up on Tower. Trippy will get dropped. There's a second one as well. Boo Boo Doo Boo, but Pistola comes straight in with the Scar. Absolutely dusts him to pieces. 2 more players of Vex. They're also going to drop. So once again, Boo Boo, he can just sit out here around the pipe work and just stop anybody pushing down into BR.
Well, I've seen this a couple times now from this ENVYUS rosters. They start to make a push, they start to take some ground, and then they actually let Vex make a mistake. You saw it earlier when Boo Boo caught that flank coming through Snipe Hall. You saw it right there when you saw Boo Boo up in tower and players just came around the corner near elbow and got picked off. So it's interesting how you'll see ENVYUS kind of push out, wait a little bit, pause. They don't fully commit to a push right away. And what great shots there from Quadios.
That was rough. I think he had thought he actually killed him, so he stepped away for a second, and now all of a sudden that camo, that's going to be completely tarnished. Rather unfortunate for Team ENVYUS there. Snipe drone's allowed to move into nest. He sees the hit markers come through, so he can actually push back. Trying to stay alive here. No shields whatsoever. Unfortunately, the bullet will find his target. 2 members of Envy, they just flood on into nest here. But kind of want to touch on what you mentioned. You see it with ENVYUS, they'll just sit back and say, okay, we don't really have to push this triple cap. We can chill here for a bit. Then all of a sudden, you just see Vex step forward and say, all right, boys, time to kill them.
Yeah, it seems like Vex are not hesitating to be aggressive. They have the shots to back it up, especially seeing some of those plays. One question I had for you, though, was I know Snipe Drone, he was part of that kind of European super squad that first came out. Why did that squad not work out? Do you have any idea? Was it just a synergy? Did they have some butting of heads?
So I think you're talking about the Epsilon roster that did so well back at World 2016. Now, the one thing I have said about Halo is at the start, it can be a little bit unpredictable. You got to remember when we came into Halo 5, Worlds 2016 came around really, really fast. And the Cloud9 roster that they beat, it wasn't great. Let's be honest about that.
Gotcha.
So I don't want to say they got gifted at top 8, but certainly they had a weaker route to top 8. However, at the start, they kind of caught some American rosters off guard. Then all of a sudden, later on and throughout the game's iteration in the live, the Americans start to wake up a little bit. Okay, it's time to play and rock and roll with the big boys. That roster just wasn't up to that job.
Gotcha.
So you had the team changes, you now got infused. These guys are kind of top of the blocks right now. But I tell you what, we're looking at this match. Vex are actually giving it a pretty good run.
One other thing I wanted to point out right there, not to cut you off, but Boo Boo Doo Boo, when he was grabbing that camo, he realized he was not being contested whatsoever. So he took that extra long route over near the old snipe spawn. He decided just to thrust over there because he realized anyone who got to camo late would no longer be in any position to contest him, and he can get in such a strong power position towards top tower if he needed to.
I've got to say, Dave, I can't think anymore about what you mentioned earlier on. It does feel like NBA are quite chilled out here. It doesn't feel like there's any panic in it all. It's just business as usual.
Yeah, and that's always a great sign for teams. Sure, you want to get pumped up. You want to get amped up when you get a lot of these great kills. You don't want to rely on that high energy, though, for a team to play under normal conditions. It's not sustainable for an 8-hour practice or a 3-day tournament.
Well, we do see Vexed at least claiming one back, but that's easily flipped on its head. 2 plots go in the hands of Envy. Checking the Batman, but that's going to be GG. All she wrote for game number 1. Team ENVYUS coming out 100 points to Vexed 47. So a decent effort. We'll take a look at the kills and see if that actually told the full story there, Dave. What are you seeing across the board?
I'm seeing we had 40 kills in favor. Actually, that was, sorry, the last game. So we will have to take a look over at this board when they pull up the stats. But clearly it had to have been heavy outslaying there from the ENVYUS squad. It was just... we'll look at him when we get to see him and see how heavy that slaying was.
So talk about, in fact, there you go then. I'll let you run with this one.
Yeah, we got 57 kills in favor of Envy, and then we only got 9, 18, 37 in favor of Vexed. So 20 outslaying is a massive margin in my eyes.
See, this is why I let you do the maths, because I'm absolutely appalling at it. Now, the one thing that I kind of want to, we'll talk about rolling it into this next matchup. The one thing that I think for Vexed, their biggest energy point is that it's a fun roster. They're really good friends, they're a bit banterish, they're quite fun lads, and I think that's going to transition across this next game. They're not a team that will get down on themselves and start arguing or just go silent, where you'd sometimes you'll see a team where they'll just go quiet. They've lost a match and now they're not saying anything, and rolling into the next game like that when you've got your head in the sand, it's never going to transition across very well. This team will happily shake off that loss. Whether or not they win the next game is a different thing.
No, but that mindset, like you said, is super important. it changes everything, because at some point when you can kind of make light of something, or when you can have your team move on, you aren't dwelling in the past, you aren't starting to question your team's play style, you aren't shaking your confidence, you're just moving on to the next one. And so that's extremely important, especially in tournament environment. It's so rare that you ever go through a tournament and not drop a game. And I don't think any teams are coming to this event expecting that. And so you have to be able to bounce back from losses just like that last game.
Rock and roll. Team Envy take game number 1. We are in game 2. This is going to be Regret Team Slayer. And it looks like Cyan's going to be picking up that first OS of the game. Pistola, the wizard himself, with a double kill down in the feed, helping Tommy pick up the green machine. And now he can just run free. As free as the wind, but he's got to find them coming off the respawn. You can hear the plasma caster in the back just popping off. The blue balls will be bouncing all over, but he's struggling to find these people. It's going to be Lunny. Unfortunately, it would have been nice if Lunny could have hit some of those shots, because it would have taken that OS completely off of Cyan's back, but unfortunately none of them found its target. He was completely smashed to bits. 5-2, couple of kills already off the bat, and here he comes for more.
Yeah, that's still a mistake we see sometimes even at the top level of play, of people not contesting the overshield player. Seems like a bad idea. Surely you're down in those 1v1 engagements, but end of the day, if you aren't putting those shots on the overshield player, taking that OS out, it's just gonna be one of your teammates that has to deal with that problem later. So, some point, someone has to sacrifice their life or their ammo and just put shots in that player.
Right's looking for more. He's seen a couple of players around the corner. Cyan pops up. He will jump back. Grenade goes down, and he hopes he takes a bit of a peek forward, but he's got quad behind him. He's got support, so he knows that he can move. And here comes his teammates. Look at this, moving in as a unit. 1, 2, 3 of them. They collapse. They get a kill. Now they can put another one back on the board. They're only down by 1, so good teamwork here. Grenades go in, pre-firing, looking for the markers, looking for the damage, but no one's in red. So now they're going to have some idea where they are. They're going to be on the opposing side of the map or somewhere bottom mid. They're looking for those call-outs. Quad can be the one that calls this out, but all of a sudden, Pistola just magically appears from nowhere.
Yeah, and that is rough when you're playing against a wizard. That's a tough situation to be in, because like you called it out before, they got all those kills at blue, they rotated towards red, they did everything right, but we're not able to collapse in and find those kills. I'm not sure if ENVYUS had pushed out from bottom red towards bottom center, but either way, uncapitalized from Vex right there in that spawn trap.
I think they all expected to see some players, and they're like, well, okay, they're not here, so now we have to rotate behind. But as soon as they rotated back to where they came from, Envy was already there ready to collapse. But then again, it's only a 4-kill deficit. Make that 5, excuse me, back to 4 as one does transition across. OS comes down, but it does get burnt this time round. Come on, Wizard, find your shots. You're not going to kill him when you whiff a couple like that. The player will get away with his life, thankfully. It's down by 4. Vex still and well and truly in this. It's not over yet. Trippy down in the kill feed, takes out Riots with a grenade kill. Pistola, though, back to top mid. Top mid on Regret, Dave. How important is it to kind of cover this area?
It is so strong when your team has control. Clearly, when another team has different angles that control top car side or can flank towards top center, it loses its strength as position. But as soon as you start to get a team isolated on 1 or 2 quadrants of the map, that's the spot you want to be, because you can have so much cover. You can basically block out any quarter of the map that you want and dictate the pace of the fight.
Kill feed at the moment not looking great here for Vexed, but Lunny, beautiful, cheeky little double there. We'll see the charged up plasma going down from Boo Boo, just trying to pre-fire this one across, trying to stay alive as well. He is only a couple of shots away from death. Spins around over here on blue ramparts. You can hear the bullets coming from top mid as well. So a couple of trades off. It looks like top mid potentially in control at the moment of Vex. He's going to try and commit suicide, but take one out. At least rips the shields off of the player before he goes down. So going down without a fight, I respect him.
Yeah, you saw it once again, though. We saw that in top tower, I believe, over on the last map on Rig, where he was in a situation, decided to try to do as much damage as he could before he got taken out. I look at laying down those plasma caster shots, way different from going from a stick. One thing you'll notice that these top pros do, I would say fairly infrequently when their team has control, is they aren't just going for random sticks when they're out in the open. They're going to do it when they can cut around the corner and get away. They're going to do it when their team's down in numbers and they don't have the backup. But all those other situations, they're going to go for shots and melees because they trust their team to finish off the kills.
So let's just appreciate right now what ENVYUS has just done. You saw all 4 dead there from Vexed. So all of a sudden, Envy's like, okay, now we can get set up. You'll just see players spreading out across the map. They're going to set up the spawn trap. This OS is super important for Vexed. I very much doubt they're going to get it because, as you can see at the moment, Envy are just laying down the hammer.
Yeah, they're not going to get that overshield when you have a player just getting back down from car 1. That is a bad sign of how much control you have in the center of the map.
When 4 go down like that and you're in this kind of momentum of, you know, this player's mentality, these are pro players right now. When you're taking a team all down, you're wiping them off the map, you can get set up, you can get ready for that, you know, the next wave, the next spawns that are going to come up and just completely obliterate them unless they get lucky and they kind of juke you out. But you ain't going to get this against Team ENVYUS. Nice green gun coming out of Vex to at least eliminate the overshield guy potentially. But again, he doesn't go down without taking out a member of Vex with him.
Yeah, one thing that's most surprising to me is clearly both these squads, very good squads, and know how to take advantage when they have control of the map. Generally, the biggest difference I notice when we're seeing top teams play against each other is who plays better in the back foot, who gets all four down and knows how to break out of the situation and get some kills. And ENVYUS did that really good when Vex had control. However, every single time ENVYUS had control, they've capitalized on those kills. So Vex, they've gotten control a few times and just haven't been able to make those pushes and get those kills. So that's the part that's most surprising to me, is because when you have control of the map, a squad like Vex should know how to capitalize. They should not be able to let ENVYUS slip by. You don't get very many opportunities where you get all four members of ENVYUS down, and when you do, you better take advantage of it.
Oh, look at this. They're getting pincered. They're getting completely boxed in. That's 3 dead again. Sniper drone, the only player left standing. See what, ENVYUS, they want to finish him off, but he's not going down without a fight himself. He at least takes one. Pistola comes in. That's going to be the cleanup crew here. One more kill away for sealing their blue band on game number 2. And there you have it. Final score will come in 50 kills to 31. The boys in blue doing what they do best and solidifying Regret TS. So a good showing here from Team ENVYUS. Vex just not. You spoke about capitalizing on situations and stuff. Envy, every single time we saw 3 or 4 dead for Vex, Envy just get into a position where, okay, boys, we're set up now. Let's wait until they spawn and just murder them.
Yep, they would get 2-for-1 trades after that every single time. Like, you'd get all 4 members of Vex down. You'd see ENVYUS pushing around the map, and maybe one of them would drop, but you'd see 2 members of Vex also drop in that kill feed.
Oh, Mike. 4 and 14. That's not a good ratio, brother. Unfortunately, they're not going to win you matches. But then again, when you're looking across the board and the amount of damage from the opposing side, Cyan and Pistola both above 2K. The only players actually in the entire thing above 2K. And most importantly there, both of them 66% accuracy from Pistola on a 12.0 KDA. That is magic.
Yeah, laying some great shots across the map. But I also am not going to harp on Snipe Drone too much. Generally, if you have a game where you're losing like 50 to 25 or 50 to 30 in slays, I don't really differentiate as much the person who got 10 kills versus the one who got 5 kills, because it's a team loss or a team effort. In fact, if I'm seeing one of those players on that team go positive 2 or 3, my first thought is that person might be the problem, might be doing something wrong. They're either baiting too hard or not pushing out their team, or maybe they're that much better than the rest of their teammates, but I don't think that's the case here on this Vex roster.
One man in Halo 5 cannot be the difference maker. Even if they have a bad game, no matter if they have a good game or a bad game, they could go absolutely huge or absolutely negative. One person in Halo 5 doesn't make the difference. You go in as a team, you go out as a team. This game is all about team shot. It's all about working together. This game is literally all about what you put into it. It's going to be incredible, to be fair. This entire event is going to be amazing. This entire run for the World Championship is going to be amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is game number 3. Team ENVYUS, Dave, they're looking to clean this one out easy.
Yeah, and I can't see anything changing based on those first couple games. I mean, we've seen some of these teams get a rough start. We saw, I wouldn't say rough start, but Splice losing that first game against ENVYUS, that is a big statement for the EU scene. But I think right now, ENVYUS are making a statement of their own, saying, we're going to pull this first flag in the first 25 seconds and close this series out 3-0.
Please, no. Please.
It's happening.
Oh, God, it really is. Oh, well, that's a flag cap in less than 30 seconds.
Yes.
Double kill comes in as well. Pistola just moves up onto
Jesus,
the perfect
Pistola
for the triple on P3. Go on, my son. He's got his hair cut back from the olden days, and I tell you what, he's playing as if it's 2006 all over again. Killing spree comes in. He's got the camo, and he's absolutely just bashing them off the spawn.
Yeah, and I forget exactly which mythological figure it was, the one who cut off his hair. Is it Oedipus or something like that? Clearly, it's quite the reverse for Pistola here, because he cut off his hair, and he is not missing a single shot.
Oh,
Most powerful we've ever seen this wizard.
This is amazing. This is absolutely fantastic. I mean, fair enough. You could say Vex won't be the real challenge, and the real challenges will come when you're playing Splice, you're playing your Optic Gamers, you're playing these bigger teams. But my God, Pistola, he's absolutely slapping them right now, moving this flag as well. He's just got some kills. All right, boys, I'll do objective as well, no problem.
Yeah, and I'm not going to deny that VEXED is not a same squad as someone like, even like ENVYUS or a squad like Splice, but these scores are very telling. A lot of times you can look at some of these early group stages and see how dominating were these teams' performances. And right now, ENVYUS has put up one of the most dominant performances we've seen here on the main stage in group play.
Flags are moving, 2 kills go down, and this could be all she wrote, to be honest with you, boys and girls. This might be it. They're going to run a third and potential final. 1 shots are coming in from the opposing side, though. They've not got a hold of Snipe Drone, but he's dead as well.
And
now
look
they can
at this
control
positioning,
it.
so good by Trippy, a player who hasn't been seen incredibly long, and he is constantly blocking these blue side spawns, and just like that, they kept spawning over in bubble, kept spawning in bad positions right there, and 3-0 just like it's nothing.
Ah, Vex. Welcome to America, my friends. That is the power of a professional team and professional players. Team ENVYUS solidify the third and final game. The nail in the coffin there, 3-0 on flags, 3-0 on the series. And what an incredible performance from the boys in blue, Dave.
Yeah, and if I was VEXED, I wouldn't be beating myself up too much after that. Clearly, there were some bad losses there as far as those game scores. However, same time, ENVYUS are looking really strong. I think it's more of a testament to how well ENVYUS are playing.
I mean, there's a positive side of this. No one got goosed. There was a breadstick on there. If it would have been a French player, it would have been even more banter. But, you know, nevertheless, no gooses across the board. Pistol at the top, though. I mean, yeah, you saw what it was doing. Do you think this is quite, this team is quite good for Pistol? Like being able to kind of have a little bit of a reset after a few rough losses kind of in recent tournaments, have a bit of a reset and just kind of say, okay, wipe the slate clean, start again?
Yeah, sometimes it's just how it goes. Like when you get a brand new roster, there's this motivating period. One of the old Halo players, Hokum, kind of talked about this. He said, there's no more motivation than you have this new roster, you have this fresh start, everyone wants to talk strategy, everyone wants to get on and play extra matchmaking games together. It's this reinvigorating feeling. It's kind of like, all right, you know, what I had before, it didn't work out, and right here, we get to build something new, special, and it feels like that's coming out from this ENVYUS squad.
Yeah, it's going to be nice to see, and as we kind of said, when they get later on in the bracket, we start seeing them against Optic Gaming, Splice, and stuff like that. I think they've got a really good chance. I really do think this ENVYUS roster has got so much potential.
Yeah, so right there, we're noticing some great plays from Envy for the fact that they know how to trap, they know how to win those fights, but we're going to have to see what's going to happen when they're going against some real firepower, some more firepower. Because right there, they were never challenged in many situations. Sure, we saw that amazing 5-shot from Quadios who flew out on Rig. We didn't see too many more of those. You know what I mean? You didn't see someone just stepping up, flying out, and picking off this kill. And they're going to run into that a lot as you get in later throughout this tournament. There's going to be times where it doesn't matter how well prepared your team and your setup is. If you look away the wrong direction for a split second, someone's going to fly out in 5.
Yeah, honestly, I can't say it enough. I think this roster has so much potential, and I just think, again, when we look at the duo-ship as well, coming out of Trippy and Cyan, for instance, obviously they've been together for a while now. We look back at the old Luminosity roster, that kind of breaks off, and then all of a sudden you throw Boo Boo Doober into the mix. It's honestly... it's a scary team, as a few Americans would say. But that's all from myself and Dave for now. Thank you very much for watching. Alex and the boys on the desk, over to you.
Wow, and that was a